everyone, welcome in. I'm back, yay! Happy New Year. My name's Andy. I go by the Crow Stitcher here on YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. Uh, this is gonna be, I don't know how long, probably a long one. I have a lot to show you. It's been a few weeks because of me traveling. We went down to visit our friend in Dallas for a couple weeks, and we drive. It actually started as a because of after right after the lockdowns and COVID, where you could travel again. We didn't want to stay in hotels and things like that. So, um, and then we just kept driving every year, and every year it gets more difficult, and the recovery time coming back is more difficult, especially. It's we're in Pennsylvania, so it's a drive. We break it up over 2 days, and it took me a few days to recover. This time, I know I said I was probably gonna get a floss tube up. I don't even remember when we get back. I'm still like I don't even know what day it is. I think it's Thursday. It's Thursday, January 9th, 2025. And this is Flosstube 27, by the way. Um, but yeah, I know I said I was gonna, kind of take 1 day to recover and then get a floss tube up, and that didn't happen. It took me longer this time. We're getting too old for this shit. Like, um, but so I do have a lot to show you. I hope everyone had a good holiday, whatever, if you do celebrate, whatever you celebrate, and a good start to 2025. I know there are a lot of, especially here in the US, weather related problems and disasters happening right now. So I hope anyone in those areas is being as safe as you possibly can. But other than that, I hope everyone had a good start to the new year, or as best a start as possible. Um, so I do have one announcement, which is uh, myself and a few other Stitchy friends each month. We kind of rotate between each other, and each month one of us hosts a community style. And so I'm hosting January's, and I decided to that the theme is love. I know it doesn't really fit with the month generally. Generally, we think of February as being love. But I felt like a lot of people kind of needed, we need to spread some love to each other and the world. And so you can interpret that however you want. It can be something you're stitching for a loved one, someone you love. It can be something you're stitching just because you love it. It can be love of in the subject matter of the piece you're stitching. However you want to interpret that, it really doesn't matter. Whatever that means to you. So there is a channel in my Discord. I think I just called it January Love Style. I'm not going to look it up. But if you join my Discord, or if you are in my Discord, the links below, and you want to join, just post your uh, the project you're going to work on, and then at the end of it, you can either share updates throughout the month, or at the end of the month, if you just want to post like one big progress pic at the end of the month, you feel free to do that. So that is that. The WIP Parade season. I know I got my WIP Parade up earlier before we left for Dallas, but now we're starting to get a lot of WIP Parades up as we get into as we're in the new year, I should say. So I just wanted to shout out some, and this is not going to be all of them because I have to spread it out over multiple floss tubes, because otherwise we'll be here forever. But these are just some of the WIP Parades I have watched since our last Flosstube. I'm like all out of source today. It's been a little while since I've done this, and I apparently forgot how to do it. I'm just gonna list them. I'm not really gonna talk about them or anything. Tina's Stitching, Babs. I'll tag everyone below. Kelly's Quilts and Cruises, Jen's Fiberweb, Nutty Nerdy Needle, Siski, and Alara. So I'll tag all those below if you want to. If you like WIP Parades and you haven't checked out any of those, go ahead and do so. And then let's just get into stitching. Is this my clue piece? Yes. So we're gonna start off with Clue. I have reset the Clue game. I should probably explain that for anyone who might be new. So I do a Clue game that I just play. Dar helps me, and I'll explain it. So I have 3 envelopes with cards in each envelope, one for people, one for rooms, and one for weapons. So the people and the weapons are just like you would see in the movie or the game, right? Mrs. Peacock, Mrs. White, Colonel Mustard, etc., right? And then the weapons, the revolver, the rope, the candlestick, etc. And so I have stitch counts assigned to each of those, and they're all different. They're all 50 stitches apart, I think. I think I did 50 stitches apart. And so what I did is this year I did this last year, but I had the stitch counts lower and it was getting annoying to me. I wanted higher counts. So I just increased the counts, the stitch counts on these cards. And then I also reset where's my rooms? My rooms. So the rooms are WIPs. And I just pulled from my my bucket six WIPs on their little cards. So there's a fresh set of WIPs, and then increased stitch counts for this year. And so what I do, or what Dar and I do, is Dar picks a room, a weapon, and a person, and writes it down and does not tell me what it is. And then all the cards go back in the envelopes. And then I just pick from these envelopes until I pick one person, one weapon, one room. And then I ask him, was it this person, this weapon, this room? And if none of them match, he just has to say no. If one of them matches, he has to tell me. So let's say I pull Mrs. White and Mrs. White was correct. He has to tell me that. If I pull 2 that are correct, so let's say I pull Mrs. White and the revolver and they're both correct, he can only tell me 1. So he can choose whether to tell me it was Mrs. White that was correct or it was the revolver that was correct. If a room gets pulled that's correct, he has to tell me. But if it's with a person, that's right. So let's say it's Mrs. White, and when I think of chocolate, he has to tell me it was Mrs. White, because the whole purpose is to sort of rotate through the WIPs. So that's how we do it, and then I just keep pulling cards until I figure out the murderer and what they did it with and where. So I had my first pull for the year, and I pulled Mrs. White with the lead pipe in It's Only Forever. And It's Only Forever was correct. So I had to do 750 stitches on It's Only Forever. Which I did. I have to insert this. Let me get you some stats. I have to insert this. This is by Amy Stewart, and it's charted by Heaven and Earth Design. And I now have a total of 5,632 stitches out of 399,900, and I'm at 1.41%. And I'm doing it on 25 count, 1/1. Everything If you're newer here, everything I do is full cross unless it is charted. So all my full coverages, especially, where's my board, um, are full cross. Okay, so here's where I am. And I'm doing this, in the diagonals, 25 count. So I finished this diagonal here and then came up and did all of that. So I do 20 wide diagonals, 20 stitch wide diagonals. And this is looking really lovely. Just those colors and the way the sky is coming out. Love it. So there's going to be a lot of background, if you could tell by the picture. There's going to be a lot of background on that one to start off with. It's going to be a while till I get to anything else, really, in that one. Okay, so that was the first one. And so because this piece was the piece, I now just have to find the person and the room. So I won't pull any more rooms. I'll only pull a person in a room and see if I can get a match. Okay. Then, these are not in any particular order. I worked on Ring of Power. It's charted by Sharova Creations on Etsy. It's no longer available. This is what it looks like. It's big. It's a big boy. So this, let me get the stats for you. Ring of Power. I have a total of 23,545 stitches done out of 560,439, and I'm at 4.2%. So I did make it to over 4%. I was at 3.99% when I started working on this the other day. And let me just show you this is all I have done. I did a top left start. Oh, everything I do is top left unless I will otherwise specify. And I'm doing it 25 count, 1/1. So when I started this originally, so the first 4 pages horizontally this way are solid 310. So I was like, no, I'm going to go down, which I normally don't do, but that's why I went by page originally and came down till I got, this is the start of the compass on the map. And so I did start filling this in and then going off the page. And then I thought, that's all well and good, but let me get it for you. There are, oh wait, no, that's just the page. There are, in this chart alone, there are 295,664 stitches of 310. I currently got it down, I got it down to 278,595 stitches. But essentially 300,000 stitches of 310 in this piece. And the piece is only, what did I say, 560,000 total? Yeah. So most of it is 310. Like, I mean, this down here, I haven't looked at the chart, but this down here is just probably mostly solid with maybe some browns in there. Like 3371 or something. So I thought, you know what, I should probably go back up and start working on knocking out some of this 310 because I don't want to be left the end of it's going to be enough 310 at one go at the bottom there. So just go back up and do it. It needs to be done. So I went back up to the top, went to the next page, started doing cross country like I normally do, and then decided no, I'm going to do diagonals. So that's what I did, is I converted this to diagonals. And for some reason I just did 10 wide diagonals on this. Probably because it's just solid 310 and I felt like I went faster with the 10 wide. So I'm just keeping it that way, and we're just gonna convert this to diagonals all the way down, like all the way down. So this is all solid, so I really don't have to worry about filling in any confetti down here, like from what I've already done, until I get to this diagonal over here, wherever that might be. So it's a long while. This is Ina hair. So I did kind of all of this, and it's just 310. So really nothing exciting, but progress. That is less 310 that I have to do in the future. I have I know a couple other people who are stitching this, that I stitch fluenced. My friend Bandit, and I think Dynamite has this too. I don't think Dynamite's doing it on black, but Bandit is doing it on black fabric. But I don't know. I wanted to do it on the white. I felt like it would just be, it's easier for me to just do it. I don't know. Sounds weird. But it'll be kind of neat to see how both of ours work up and how they look. One being on the black fabric and one being on the white fabric. I need some coffee. Oh, look at this. Our friend Samwise, he got me this. This was my gift. I love it. Okay, the next one is one of my finish hopefuls for this year, and this is Nocturnal Messenger. Artwork is by Luthien Art. I was watching, when I was watching Alara's WIP Parade, she has this as well. She's stitching this. I have 5,719 stitches out of 30,000, and I'm at 19.06%. So it is full coverage, but it is a small full coverage, which is why it is a finish hopeful for this year. And that's what it will look like. So I'm not doing this in diagonals. It's very narrow and long, so I am just kind of doing it and working my way down the whole way. And I'm doing this 2/1 on like a 17 count, I think is what it actually turned out to be. And this is what it looks like now. So I had a little bit of his beak up here. So all the rest of the crow or raven is completely done. Like I've added that. And I added some of this in here, the background, and then filled in this over here and came down. So I've got a lot done on that. And I'm loving it. So that is that one. All right. Are we on to, no, what is this? I'm trying to show you things for what white queen. this one was not part of that. So I worked on White Queen, which is one of my absolute favorite. It was a new start last year, but it's one of my absolute favorite pieces. I just can't even tell you. So this is artwork by Chris Ortega. I will have to insert a picture. Let me find it on Pattern Keeper here. It's charted by Hade. Where is it? There it is. I'm doing it 1/1 on 25 count. I worked on this in Dallas when we were away, and I think that's it. I don't think I worked on it since we've been back. And I have a total of 5,506 stitches out of 536,673, and I'm at 1.03%. And this is what it looks like total. So these are the drapes over the bed. So I finished this diagonal and then came up and started on this one. And obviously got it to the 1% mark, which is a good shout for this one because it's a big boy again, over 536,000 stitches. I'm really enjoying this. I love the colors. I love the subject matter so much. Stephanie from Cross Stitch the Globe is doing a murder wall, and I mean, quite frankly, I've had that idea for a long time because, as you might have noticed, a crow stitcher, I have a lot of corvids. I have a lot of crows and ravens. But a lot of them are full coverages. So, it's going to take me a while to get my murder wall. But this one will also be perfect for my murder wall. Eventually. Hopefully. Before I die. Alright. This one was a new start while I was away. If you are a Ko-fi member, Tier 2 Ko-fi member, and you watched, I put up a video for where I shared some of my treasures that I purchased, and this is one of them. This is Darius. Artwork is by, I need my card. Artwork is by Sarah Richter. It's charted by Thread Geeks, and I'm doing it 1/1 on 25 count. And let me get the picture. This is what it will look like. So there are a series of 4 of these dragons. I have all of them, and I want to stitch all of them. And they are the elemental dragons, essentially. So earth, air, fire, and water. This is air. So air and earth are going to be my two. I resonate with those two the most, especially earth. So those are going to be the ones I do first or start first. So this was a new start, like I said, and I have 2,031 stitches done out of 194,400, and I'm at 1.04%. 1/125 count. I think I said that, but I don't remember. And this way. Top left start in the diagonal. I just love those colors. Look at that. Beautiful. Oh, look at that. So all of that was done. There's no, because it was a new start. So I don't know. What is that? 3 diagonals maybe? Plus I'm starting on the fourth. All background, obviously all clouds, but I should be getting to the dragon soon-ish with that one. Okay, and then this was also while I was away. This is Outer Goddess. Artwork is by Alchemy England. It is charted by Pain Free Crafts. Let me get it up for you. I have a total of 4,714 stitches done out of 165,308, and I'm at 2.85%. I worked on this one like the morning or the day before we left, and then while we were the first couple days we were down there. And this is what she looks like. Oh, I just love her. Like, yes. Absolutely love it. So this one I'm doing on 25 count. I think. Yes, 1/1. So this one is a bit everywhere. So when I started her for some reason. I thought it'd be a good idea to start the top center, and I was like, yeah, let's do this. So this was already all done, the top center. But then I realized I wasn't picking her up because I didn't like the top center. So then I counted over a number of times and then started diagonals from the left hand side. So all of this over here is new. And those colors are just stunning. I love the blues. Look at that. So this is what she looks like in total. And obviously, like, this right here is the center. So, and then all of this is what I did. So, I think she's looking really nice. There we go. That's decided to focus again. Okay. Then, whilst I was away, I worked on, where's the cover photo? Oh. I worked on Flamingo Duo by Bendy Stitches. Oh, Bendy Stitchy, excuse me. And I just think they're so cute. And I did get the Roxy Floss Co. floss for this, so I'm doing it as charted with the called for, except the fabric. Do I have a card in here? I do. The fabric I'm using is Forest Floor by Oak Crown Studios. I'm doing it 2/1 full cross. It's 18 count. And look how adorable. Like, look at those little shorts. How cute is that? I love it. I just love it. So, I filled in this part of the border, this part of the border, that shoe, the legs, the pants, and most of this pink over here, and then this lighter pink in here. So there's on this one, I basically have the shoe, there's another leaf, and then the rest of the border. And I think there's a little bit of backstitching on this one as well, obviously. So I got a good bit done on that. He's just looking so cute. This is a finish hopeful for this year as well. There's obviously two. I think I'm gonna do them together. I still haven't really quite decided, honestly, if I'm gonna do them like side by side as it's charted, or do them like a little bit further apart so I can finish them separately into two. I'm not sure. I don't know. What is this? Oh, this I did before we left. This is Within a Dream by the Artsy Housewife. I'm gonna have to put a picture up. This was from her Patreon. A lot of people are doing this. It's pretty popular. I know Stephanie from Cross Sister Globe is doing this. I have a total of 2,216 stitches out of 19,704. And I'm at 11.25%. I'm doing it 1/2 on 40 count heritage linen. And I did get the Roxy floss for this as well. And before anyone says anything, I know the margin at the top is small, and that is okay. We'll make it work. But that's basically as wide as it is going to be. There's obviously this square still over here, so it'll be probably maybe about like that wide. So I love the colors on this. Like, this is just, you know what, I'm gonna fold this because there's nothing over there. So what did I do? I filled in kind of most of this up here, and then these two leaves coming down. And I think that's it. So I basically worked over to get to this side, worked and did most of this. I love it. Okay. Then I think we're on to the last. Okay, so as I mentioned at the beginning, the January Love Sal, Love Stitch Along. I have chosen the favorite to do for my piece. I'm trying to find it over here. I'll have to insert a picture. By Omar Rayan, charted by Unconventional X Stitch. Because this girl absolutely loves her little emotional support demon, who I've named Kyle. And so, you know, I mean, you can't get a better love than that, quite frankly. So I'm doing it 1/1 on 28 count. And I worked on this when we were away on January 1st. Yeah. I had because I didn't end up taking my new start with, it's a thing. I don't know. I worked on it on January 1st. And so that's what it looks like at the moment. There's something on my glasses and it's bothering the crap out of me. So this diagonal here, I did all of that. I had finished off the previous diagonal before, so all of this here is new. And I love those colors. Look at that. Gorgeous. So that's my choice for my January love salve. Oh, I didn't give you, did I give you stats? I have 3,047 stitches done out of 183,300, and I'm at 1.66%. Okay, I also worked when I was away on Love Potion. This is one of my Ko-fi exclusive WIPs, so only Ko-fi members get to see progress photos and receive stats, which I did post. So if you are a Ko-fi member on either tier, was it my last post? I don't remember. It's pretty recent. Head on over to Ko-fi and check out the progress I got on this. But I can show you a picture of what it will look like. So this is what it will look like. It's called Love Potion Laboratory. It is by Luthien Art. It's the sun. I have the curtains closed enough that it's not coming in this way, the sun, but what's happening is it's coming in and going over to Zena's chair over here and then reflecting off of her chair onto onto this. So that's what you see is her chair, the sun off of her chair. But that's what it'll look like, and I love this piece so much. So my Ko-fi members voted on what piece I would work on, what Ko-fi WIP I would work on when I was away. And that was the winner. So I did work on that. Okay. Last up, we have something new that I'm doing. So Alara is doing, hold on, I need to clean my glasses. Alara is doing, she made this Stitchopoly board, and it is absolutely wild. There's, I say board, but there are 2 entirely separate boards, plus there's like 2 huge boards, plus another board just for being in jail. And each board has multiple levels, and there are like all kinds of, there's like, I don't even know how to explain it. Go over to I'll she'll be tagged below, and watch her Monopoly explanation video. It's wild. And so she has 5 pieces. She made all this stuff herself as well. It's incredible. She drew everything, and the amount of time it took, I can't even imagine, just to make the boards and the pieces and she didn't make the pieces, but she made the dice and the all the different cards, because there's not just chance and community, there's like 4 or 5 other sets of cards as well, and drew all the boards. I just, it's impressive. Just watching that was impressive. But she has 5 pieces that she's playing with: earth, air, fire, water, and magic. And so what I decided to do was, I don't like, other than my Clue, because I do like my Clue game, because I like finding the murder. So I don't mind, I don't mind that being a specific piece I have to work on, because it's fun to find the murder and the weapon for me. But other than that, I don't really like spinning a wheel or having like a specific WIP that something lands on that says I have to work on this project. That's not my jam, which is why I've sort of stayed away from Monopoly stitches and things like that. So what I did was, she has 5 pieces, so I made 5 groups. and I just pulled WIPs from my bucket, pulled cards from my bucket, and so each group, Earth, Air, Fire, Water, and Magic, has 5 WIPs assigned to them. So what I'm doing is for Earth, let's say this, she just posted another video, but the first one that she played, the first round of Monopoly that she played, the Earth had to do token had to do 200 stitches. So I went to my Earth WIPs and I picked one of those, and I did at least 200 stitches in that WIP. So instead of having a specific project I have to work on for each token has 5 WIPs that I can choose from, and I just have to choose one of those 5 WIPs and put whatever number of stitches that token needed to do onto one of those WIPs. So for Earth, I didn't get to Magic, but I did do the other 4. So for Earth, I chose Eggnog Latte, which is by Shannon Christine Designs, and Earth had to do 200 stitches, and so I'm doing a minimum. Like, again, that's kind of small for me, so I do a minimum. It has to do at least 200 stitches. So this is what it will look like. I'm going to get 2/1 on 14 count black. Ada. I couldn't think of the word. And I'm using the called for colors and everything. And this is, this is what it looks like now in total. This is what it looks like. I think the colors usually look the best back here. That's where I am. And so when I worked on it for the Stitchopoly, I had a little bit of that up there done, the top of the cream, and I really focused on this, so I did all of this. It's washing up the colors a little bit, but you get the gist. So I worked on the whipped cream at the top of the mug and then started working on the mug. So I did that. That was my Earth. Okay. And then some of these are full coverages, some are not full coverages, obviously. So if, like, for example, I keep working on that one for Earth and it gets finished, I'll then just pull another piece to replace it. Air. I worked on Green Elven Door by Stitch with Cat on Etsy. That's what it will look like. And this is one of my finished hopefuls for this year, so I was really excited that this was part of the Stitchopoly choices. I'm doing it 1/1 on 25 count. This one, she does, I'm pretty sure she's still on Etsy. And she has a series of Elven Doors. I know there's a winter one, there's a February one, I feel like a springy Easter one. There's a bunch of different ones, so if you like that style but you're not really a fan of the green, go check her out. I'm pretty sure she's still there. So I have a total of 13,410 stitches out of 78,936. I'm at 16.99%. I'm doing this, I think I need my board for this. I'm doing this 1/1 on 25 count. So, like I said, this is one of my finished hopefuls for the year because it is a smaller full coverage. And so this is what it looks like in total. I had to do a minimum of 80 stitches for Air, and I did a lot more than that, but And I worked, let me fold this up. I worked over here and got like all of this done. So this is the top right corner. So I have reached the other side. It's a lot of 310. There's some green in there, some brown, but it's mostly 310. I did work on this when I was away as well. Where did I work on? When I was away, I did over here and kind of worked in here as well. So that's new from the last time you've seen it. Okay. So that was air. Oh, I didn't do fire either. I kept thinking I did that. I didn't do that. I didn't do. What's this piece then? What did I stitch this for? Oh, that was a new start. I'll show you that at the end. Okay, so I didn't get to fire and water. I had to do 125 stitches, and I chose Alliance for this, which is one of my. It's one of my priority parade pieces. Scroll it up, there it is. And I had to do a minimum of 125 stitches, which I did. And I'm doing this 1/1 on 22 count. I'll have to insert a picture. Artwork is by Lisa Parker, charted by Heaven and Earth Design. I did do my own crop of this, so I cropped off page on the top, page and a half at the top, and a page on the bottom. So it's more square and it focuses on just the dragon and the wolf. So with everything I've marked off, plus what I've stitched, I have 127,903 stitches marked off out of 414,750, and I'm at 30.81%, or sorry, 30.84% total. So my goal my aim for this year is to get to 50%. So again, I was happy that this was sort of chosen or pulled for one of the pieces. And so this is what it looks like. Total. So I got like all of that done, and then this down here. So this is the dragon's wing, and this is the tip of one of the horns, I believe. Oops, I want the mock-up. Yeah. This is the tip of its wing, and this is the very little tip of one of his horns. So the next diagonal, especially, we will get to more dragon. Dragon! I love this piece so much. It's for me and Dar. I'm the dragon and he's the wolf. So. Trying to get it back in the bag. Okay. Alright. Boom. So that's all I got done for the Stitchopoly. So what I might try to do is She did post a video. Yeah, I watched it yesterday. I don't know if that's when she posted it. With the next round of Monopoly stitches. So I think I'll add fire and magic from last time that I didn't do onto this time, and then everything else will be just this time's. And I'll stitch on the same piece. So whatever I choose for fire, I'll stitch both last time's and this time's stitches on it. Okay, the last one I worked on was a new start. I was having a day where nothing, like my brain just wasn't. I couldn't focus on anything. I was just switching between WIPs like nobody's business. Um, and so I was like, you know what? I decided to start Fisher King, which is by Long Dog Samplers, and I have 480 stitches done out of 77,786. I'm at 0.62%. And this is what it will look like. It is one of the newer ones. But that's what it will look like. And I'm stitching it on 25 count 1/1 pewter. And I'm using Seafoam by Pirate and Robin, which I purchased. She was having a Black Friday sale, I believe, so I purchased this in November. I just love it, and it's Seafoam by Pirate and Robin. And get this out. This is what I stitched. Top left start. And I'm going to use, there's a lot of back stitching. Where is it? Oops. And I had Krynic, some kind of black sparkly Krynic, in my stash that I had purchased for, I don't know, it's for something, some fancy dancy something that I'm probably not ever gonna stitch, quite honestly. So I decided to use this. I have three spools of it to use for the back stitching. So the back stitching kind of stands out a little bit, but it's also a bit sparkly. Because you can't go wrong with sparklies. So I think that's gonna look nice. There's back stitching in this area I've done, but I want to do more crosses before I add some back stitches in, so that the back stitching stays on top of the crosses. But that's what it looks like, and I love how this is stitching up. Like, look at that. It is so pretty. Love it. Love it. So that is Fisher King. And that is everything I've worked on since my last Flosstube. Oh no, that's a lie. That is 100% a lie. I have a finish, but I'm not going to show it because the number of sensors I would have to put on it basically would just cover up the whole entire thing, and there really wouldn't be anything left to show. But I finished Non-Harvesting Phalluses. Who was it by? I don't remember. I showed it in my last couple Flosstubes because I didn't have much to censor out. But it's part of a medieval marginalia series where Christie's Corner? And she takes, so people back in the Middle Ages used to doodle in the margins of manuscripts and whatnot. And so she has, in her pattern, she has this whole, she shows the original manuscript with the doodle on it, and it talks about the manuscript and etc. And then took that doodle and made it into a cross-stitch pattern. So it is, as it sounds, literally a nun harvesting phalluses from a tree and putting them into a basket. So I did finish that. Um, I worked on it a lot over when we were away in the mornings, and then finish it off earlier this week. Um, so it was my first finish for 2025, which honestly I just felt was perfect. It's like where do you go from there? I mean, that's sort of the peak of everything, really. But it was a legacy finish, so I did update my legacy board. So for anyone new, I have pieces that I call legacy pieces, which are ones that I absolutely want to finish before I die. Um, to leave behind as my legacies. So some of them are for me, some of them are like for me and Dar, some of them are for child. Some are just ones that I just really love and want to finish. So I have a goal of getting 50 finishes of legacy pieces, 50 legacy finishes before I turn 50. So I turned 43 in March. That gives me about 7 years. And so that was number 8. So I have 8 finishes of my legacy pieces. And then the dates are just the month of the year. So this is my first one for 2025. And then over here, when I fully finish them, I tick off a box. So I only have 2 fully finished at the moment. But I do have, the goal is to get them just finished and stitched. So, yeah. That was that. So that now for reals is all I worked on and all that I have to show you and talk about. So I will, today's Thursday. I guess we could keep Thursdays, couldn't we? We could try to keep for Thursdays, so it's still a week. I was doing Mondays, but then obviously going away and having to recover kind of got me off my schedule. So we'll try for Thursday or Fridays each week. How about that? So I'll still go for the weekly Flosstubes. Can't even talk. And Stitch with Me's. I'd like to do one Stitch with Me a week as well, but we'll see how that goes. Floss tubes, to me, getting the floss tubes up are more important. So if I can only do one video a week, it will be a floss tube on a certain week. Ko-fi members, I have started doing something new for my tier 2 Ko-fi members, my Murder of Crows. So anyone in the Murder of Crows do I don't know when I'm gonna post it. Maybe on the Monday. Do keep an eye out because there will be. I started doing a vlog style for you all, so it's not a Stitch with Me, which I was originally gonna do, but it's a. When I start working on the piece, I talk about it for a little while, explain what I've done, where I'm going with it, etc. Then at the end, I come back when I'm done stitching on it for the day. I come back in, show you what I've done, where I worked, give you all the stats, how many stitches I actually did, all my percentage, the total number of stitches, etc. All that. So that will be for my tier 2 Murder of Crows, and I think it's going to be fun because you guys will be able to see a little bit and get a little more in depth of what I work on and how much I actually can get done in a session. And that will be like all the other videos. I will add it to the Google Doc. I will also put it in the Discord with the link, and I will also you will also get the notification on Ko-fi because I can put it in Ko-fi with the link. So yeah, that'll be new and exciting. I do still put up for the tier ones. Well, everyone, but tier ones you still get monthly stats. Um, which I'm using something new. Jen, the caffeinated crafter, and Siski Stitches found this. Well, I think Jen. I don't know. I don't remember how Jen found it, but it's basically it's a new. It's new to me. That is easier to show you all exactly what I work on, how many stitches I got on each piece for the month, and the totals for the week, totals for the month. So I can screenshot just one thing and put it up for you all. So you'll still get that. And anytime I work on a Ko-fi exclusive WIP, which I do have some new starts I want to do for that, you will get progress photos as well. So that is that. And I think that's all I have to say. So I hope you all, like I said, stay safe if you're in any of the areas affected by fires or snow in the U.S. I know Texas is supposed to be getting quite a bit of snow today into tomorrow, and all the fires in California. Um, so please stay safe if you're in any of those areas. And other than that, I hope you all have a great week and happy stitching. I'll see you next time.